Welcome to Age of Aquarius, Soul Activation Temple. Yeah, through soul activations, guided meditations, and crystalline codes, we return to who we truly are, which is light in form. You are here because your soul is ready. So welcome home. Pattern recognition reveals movement and not certainty. Patterns don't show us fixed truths. They show us trends, cycles, probabilities, and feedback loops. The moment you can recognize a pattern, you are standing at a choice point. You can either continue the pattern, interrupt it, or evolve it. Without flexibility, however, the mind tries to freeze the pattern into a rule. Without courage, the body resists changing what is familiar, even when it's no longer helpful. So, pattern recognition with flexibility becomes rigidity, and pattern recognition without courage becomes paralysis. Flexibility allows you to update the pattern. True pattern recognition is a continuous cycle of observation, evaluation, of assessment and processing. Flexibility means being willing to say, this pattern was true then, but it is changing now. It means allowing new data, such as sensations, emotions, and outcomes, to revise your understanding, as well as not clinging to identity statements like, this is just how I am. In nervous system terms, flexibility is the capacity to shift states without collapse. A rigid system recognizes a pattern but cannot respond differently. A flexible system recognizes a pattern and can choose a new response in real time. And that, beloveds, is regulation meeting awareness. Recognizing a pattern is often uncomfortable, and courage is what allows us to act on what we see. Patterns usually reveal where we self abandon, where we repeat protection strategies, where safety is coming at the cost of aliveness. Courage is required because change means loss of predictability, temporary destabilization, as well as stepping outside known coping loops. From a biological perspective, courage isn't bravado. It is the ability to stay present while the nervous system updates its map of safety. Without courage, pattern recognition turns into over-analysis, into spiritual bypassing, or a I know this about myself. Without movement, though, with courage, recognition becomes integration. Change is, in fact, the test, so to speak, of pattern recognition. If no behavior, boundary, or internal response changes, then pattern recognition hasn't completed its cycle. The full arc starts with awareness, where we see the pattern, followed by flexibility, where I allow another option to exist. Then courage, where I am willing to try the new response. Being willing to feel what comes next is the feedback we need to allow integration and where the pattern updates. Change does not mean force. It means willingness to stay with the unfamiliar long enough for a new pattern to stabilize. This is why pattern recognition should never be taught as a purely cognitive skill and should always be paired with nervous system safety, with choice-based experimentation, with permission to move slowly, as well as reframing failure as data. Otherwise, people learn to see themselves clearly but feel unsafe to evolve. That is when insight becomes a burden instead of a liberation. And so, to follow is a simple framework aligned nervous system check in. It is designed to be used before intention setting and to be used by adults, teens, and even small children. With small children, small language tweaks should be used. So, as you gently close your eyes, bring your attention to your body. Notice where you feel contact, such as your feet on the floor, your body on the chair, or your breath in your chest or belly. The key principle here is that attention anchors regulation. No fixing and no correcting is needed. As you invite neutral observation and using descriptive language and not emotional labels, you may now place your hands on your chest or your belly. You may now ask internally or aloud, is my energy high, low, or steady? Is my body more tense, relaxed, or mixed? Is my attention scattered, narrow, or open? The important rule here is to have no interpretation, no story, just naming what is present. As you gently open your eyes, choose one of the following while keeping it simple. Look around and name 3 things you can see. Or feel your feet and gently press them into the floor. Or take one slow exhale a longer out breath. This is ultra important because orientation tells the nervous system, I am here now and not under immediate threat. This increases coherence without forcing calm. Ask one honest question here, though. Do I have the capacity to set an intention from choice rather than urgency? Possible answers could be yes, somewhat, or not right now. Remember that all answers are valid. If the answer is not right now, the intention becomes to stay present and kind with where I am. This prevents self-betrayal. Only now invite intention. And some guidelines for intention language is that you need to keep it directional, not demanding. Ground it in behavior or presence, not outcome. Match it to current capacity. Examples would be to say, today I intend to respond with a little more awareness. Or I intend to notice when my body tightens and pauses. Or I intend to stay connected to my breath during difficulty. A closing line to use, which is optional yet powerful, is to say, this intention is set within my current capacity and it is allowed to evolve. This check-in works because it aligns intention with nervous system readiness. It prevents setting intentions from a dysregulated system. It reduces subconscious resistance and it increases follow-through, and it honors the body as part of decision-making. It turns intention setting into a relational act and not a mental command.